Hey everybody, how you doing? Kerry Pope. So today I was talking with Rebecca, and we really been chopping it up about the mind and creation. One of the things that I have taught for years, and I want to share with you, is you are what you think. So the question is, what do you think about yourself, or how do you think about the reality that you're actually creating? You know, we have a tendency to always want to blame the enemy, blame somebody for the things that are happening to us. But the reality is, guys, look in the mirror. That guy you see in the mirror, or that young lady you see in the mirror, you are responsible for the reality that you're creating. Let me explain. Let me explain. As a man thinketh, right? That's what he is. As a man thinketh, which says to me, and I've seen this in my own life and others that I've coached, that creativity or creation begins in our imagination, or what we imagine ourselves to be. So, watch this. When you say something, when you speak something, it comes second to nature of your thinking. The first thing you do in anything is you think. Somebody says, think before you speak. Well, here's the thing. Most times we have already thought about it before we speak. Here's a good example. Somebody that's been nasty to everybody else, and you said, if they ever come at me, oh, I got something for them. So then they come at you, right? And then you have something for them. But guess what you actually did? You created the atmosphere for them to come at you. Really? Yes. You did that because you created the very thing you imagined. That's why it's so important, as a man thinketh, so is he, to make sure that you know what you're thinking about. So think of it like this. And I got a homework assignment that I want you to do. And it's going to really show us what we're thinking about without realizing it. Because reality is, you're worrying underneath the surface of your posturing. So watch this. When you go to sleep at night, right before you go to bed at night, I want you to take a journal out or a notebook or whatever you can have by your bed. And I just, before you shut it down, write down whatever's on your mind, whatever it is. Just write it down, okay? And then in the morning, when you wake up, whatever comes in your mind, whatever it is that you're feeling or thinking or expressing in your spirit, write it down. Whatever it is, there's no particular thing, but I want you to start writing this down every night and every morning, because you're going to start seeing a pattern of how you think. And this pattern will actually is what you are creating as your reality. You know why? When you go to sleep at night, your conscience gives your subconscious a work order. Okay? As a man thinketh, so is he. As I'm giving the conscience what I'm thinking, it feeds the subconscious, which goes and creates the reality. It brings the things that we're thinking about. Why is this important? Because if you go to bed at night worrying about how you're going to pay your bills, if you go to bed at night worrying about whether or not you're going to be married ever in life, or whether or not you're going to end up in a divorce, if you go to bed at night worrying about your children failing in school or doing something they have no business doing, you're bringing this thing in your conscience, right? You're closing your eyes to shut down the body, but the mind never goes to sleep. Your mind is always working. So guess what happens? The conscious mind gives the subconscious mind a work order and says, bring this to us. That's your reality. Somebody said, no, Kerry, that's not real. It is real. Whatever man thinketh, so is he. Because your subconscious is going to create your reality. That's why you better make sure. And I'm saying, I didn't say you should. I'm saying you better. Because you're going to create the very thing that you're thinking of, guys. And what you speak with your mouth is second nature to what you think in your mind. And I had to learn this, that all this reality that I was creating and blaming the enemy and fighting the devil, I was the devil. I was the enemy because my thinking was not right. And when we learn how to really, focus, meditate, think correct thoughts, okay, Make sure we govern what we allow in our eye gate and our ear gate, because once it gets into your spirit, it talks to the mind. The mind of man processes, and it begins to bring in fear and doubt and hopelessness and scarcity. And that's not of God. And so when you write down these things, right, you're going to start to see a pattern. Because when you close your eyes and go to sleep physically, your spirit man is freely working. It's giving the subconscious this work order, and it's producing whatever you've been thinking on. That's why the Bible tells us clearly, and I teach from principles again. If you've been following me, you know I'm a man of principle. So whatsoever things are lovely. It says whatsoever things, meaning it's a broad scale of things. But whatever of those things is lovely and is pure and is honest and just and of good report. Think on those things, right? Whatsoever are honest, lovely, just, true, pure, meaning it's really of substance. Then you think on it, because guess what happens when you think on it? You're feeding the conscious to the subconscious, and you get more of that thing. That's why you have to ask the question, what am I thinking about? What am I really allowing in my eye gate and ear gate? That's why you got to be mindful of the company you keep. You got to be mindful of what you allow your eyes to see through social media. You got to be mindful of what you let your ears hear through radio and even with social media and the things that are being said. You got to make sure you're not falling into the opinions of people, that you're being authentic and pure. Because when you do these things, you're going to find yourself getting a better life. Many of you are trying to go get your eyes fixed, your ears fixed, your nose fixed, your hair done, your body, snatched, and you're in the gym and you're doing all these things, but you didn't exercise the most important thing or cut the fat from the most important thing, your mind and how you think and how you process. And so when we talk about abundant life nation, that's 3 words. Abundant or abundance, meaning plentiful, more than enough. Life. Life means living, exuberant, having joy, having a great life. And the nation. You're teaching others how to acquire the abundant life, and together you form a nation. That's what Abundant Life Nation is about. We are about how we think, living a life of abundance, and building a nation of like-minded people. Because, can I be honest with you? It's in how you think, not how you do. Because as a man thinketh, so is he. So before you do anything, you've already thought about it. You thought about it, you made a word about it, and then you say, I knew it was going to happen. I just felt it in my spirit. No, you didn't feel it in your spirit. You created it in your mind, which formed in the material world, of the invisible world, and then it manifests in the material world. Watch this. Faith is the substance. Faith comes from what you think or believe or want. Faith is the substance, which is the tangible thing, right? Substance of things hoped for. Where do you start hoping for something? I'll wait. In your mind. I hope that doesn't happen. What doesn't happen? What I thought about. I hope doesn't happen. What you hope doesn't happen? The very thing I've been worrying about. See, faith. But the word faith is what? What you believe. I believe, or I hope that what I believe in doesn't happen. But you don't realize you're creating it by worrying. So watch this. Is that thing you're worried about lovely, pure, honest, just, and of a good report? Probably not. Because if it is, then you could think more on it. But if it isn't, you got to learn to dismiss it immediately, because you don't need your mind to become contaminated with the wrong thinking gene. Okay? Mutation is when a cell mutates, or it reforms into a broken cell. So we have a lot of thinking mutation going on, and wrong thinking or toxic thinking is creating the results that we're getting that we don't really want. So watch this. This is a homework assignment again. I'm getting ready to let you go. Before you go to bed at night, I want you to write down whatever it is that you're thinking about, whatsoever. Write it down. When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing whatsoever is in your spirit or in your mind? Write it down. Before you get up and go to do all these other things, do this first. And after 7 to 14 days, start to look at the pattern. Okay, we're going to talk about patterns. And start looking at the patterns or the habits and then see where you're going wrong. Because it's in that thinking gene that you're going to find the mutation that's causing things you don't want. All right, guys. So, blessings and abundance to you. I would love to hear your thoughts and comments. Leave it in the section below. Make sure you listen. The Soul Work Masterclass, we talk about these things. We deal with shadow work. We deal with all these things that helps you to really evaluate how you think. So, sign up for the Masterclass. The Soul Work Masterclass, if you haven't done it, right? The Masterclass is in the link below. Sign up for it. Get it right now. The Work Masterclass, not the Soul Work Masterclass. The Soul Work Masterclass is the one I'm doing for divorce, recovery, and breakups. So that's coming too. All right, but the Work Masterclass, the link is in the description. And also, guys, do your homework. Blessings and abundance. I'll talk to you later now. Bye-bye.